gotta clean this mess up, guys. I cannot stand a rat's nest. Now, I don't want to go through and do everything that I had planned, because it's getting nice out there. I want to drive my truck. I'm not going to tear this thing all the way apart, but I am going to clean it up. I can't take the ugliness any longer. He's got these wires ran every direction except for where they should be. And the overflow, it's got a hose just dangling, just hanging wherever. It's going all the way over there to what looks like a van overflow. I want to clean that up. I did the heater delete until I can afford to get an aftermarket heat and air. Adam told me in the box up front there is a bypass hose. He said grab it, put it on. So I'm going to get rid of these hoses, put the bypass on there, and then I'm going to start weeding through some of these wires and clean it up a little bit. I mean, like, the relay's not even mounted. It's just zip tied right there and just flopping around. This everywhere, you know. All these wires look like crap, man. He's got the positive running over, around, underneath the intake, and where it goes right here. What the heck is this? That's a cobbed up mess. The heck? Comes over, down, back up under the motor, and back to the start. How idiotic is that? I want to try to find a better snout because I don't like this. You can see it's pulled off, split right there, rubbing against here. The upper heater hose or radiator hose has got a kink in it right there. Yeah, I want to try to clean some of this stuff up, and I want to, wherever it went, I just had it. Oh, there it is. I want to mount my cruise control up in here. That way the cable can come up and hook in. I don't know exactly how it's going to fit, but there's the cruise control wires. I got to pull them back down. I'm hoping I don't need to extend them, but if I do, I will. I want to pull these wires out. I want to put a hole over in here and run the wires through with the grommet. That way it just, you know, all this looks like, yeah, I can't even say it. I need to get up in here where I modified this to fit the heater box and air conditioning box from the 94 or 97, I can't remember which now, but where I modified this, I need to cut this out, get back up here and weld a plate back in to seal that back up. That way it directs the air down. I'm going to put my vents back in. See, right now, since I did this, I never gave it a thought when I designed it, but all that rain and everything comes in and right down through the heater. So I got to take care of that. I tried not to get this thing in the rain or let it set out, but you do get caught in the rain a lot. So I want to seal that up. I want to go through and close up some of these holes that was used for the heater box and the old wiring and all that. Right here is the grommet I'm gonna put in up here, and then I'm gonna feed the wires in, and everything's gonna be tucked up like it should be. This relay system, fuse system, is going to get mounted up here where it should be. Let's see, this one, I believe that goes to the old heater. This one goes to the old switches. You know, I want to clean some of this stuff up. I'm not going to bore you with me doing that because it's going to take me some time, but I'll periodically bring you back as I get, you know, as I get into it. All right, well, I'm going to get busy here and see if I can do a little bit of cleaning. All right, a little update. I figured out what's what, I think. I hope, I pray. I fed it back through the firewall. I got to get that ground right there yet. And this one's the main power going to it from here. So I'm going to label this one, get it off there. This one comes in, all the wires are cut on that. But it comes in and plugs in right here. I got to figure out what those wires are. If it's to the old heater, I can delete it, but I gotta make sure before I go cut. You know what I mean, Vern? All right, now I need to decide whether to keep this block out here or put it inside. It don't make any sense. He had this fed off of this block, a wire by itself come down and in beside all this wire. It hooks into this block right here, and then it run all the way over there and pop back through the firewall right here. So why would I run that inside when it comes right back outside? Same way with this wire. This wire comes through that harness right there. It come in all the way across and then back out, and then goes down along the frame. I believe this is my fuel gauge, and that would be a good reason why it wasn't working correctly. This wire's all barely in the fitting. It's got these two different gauge wires, and then it went into this itty bitty wire, went into this bigger wire. So yeah, it's not right. It was multiple gauge wires. So I'm going to clean that up. This wire goes into the fuse block. When you turn the key on, it powers up. Like I said, this one I gotta do some research. It comes up to this junction block here, so that tells me it's powered all the time. One piece at a time. All right, I'm gonna get back to work. I'm gonna get this stuff buttoned up here so I can make a plate for that. But before I make a plate for that, I want to get a hole that this grommet will fit right in here, and I'll bring that wire harness right through the firewall right there. Keep all this inside and tucked up tight. See, there's supposed to be, that'll come through right in here somewhere. There's supposed to be little clips that the wire harness, the factory harness went in. So I'm going to try and keep everything nice and tight. I'm thinking about mounting the computer right here. That way it's easy access if I need it. And nice thing is 6.0 2006. All right, I wanted to check that because he's told me two different motors and I wasn't sure. So the computer 6.0 2006. Now I know. All right, I will bring you back in a little while. I know I'm getting antifreeze. That's okay. It's gotta be done. Come on. I guess I could have opened that first. Come on, dang it. Man, that hurt. Ow. Did I say that right? Ow. Or ow. Ow. Wow, what a mess. Okay, now I get to pop it back off there and put the clamps on. Okay. Gross. All right, I grab a rag and my Phillips. Okay. Now, before I loom that stuff up, I want to put the battery back in and double check my wiring. I'm hoping I got everything hooked up the way it should be. I haven't messed with this wiring up here yet. I want to focus on one section at a time. That way, if I do mess something up, it's easier to trace. I've got the wiring under the dash all buttoned up. I've got the computer mounted. I got to make a bracket, a hanger bracket for the one side of it, but it's mounted. All the extra wires from the 94 are deleted. The only wires that's left, I believe, is the heater and air conditioning and evap and all that crap. If I don't need any of it, I'm gonna snip it out, clean that up, because the new system, I'll run all new wires to it when I get it. I haven't done anything with the battery cables just yet. So let's just set this battery back in. We'll get it wired up and we'll test fire it. We'll get it test fired and make sure all that stuff's good. Dead battery. At least I hope that's what it is. Got a fuel pump. Contact. Awesome. So now I know all the wiring up under the dash is good. And my battery's probably not. Because I just put that battery in. Okay, so before I go doing a whole lot up here, I need to get a battery cutoff switch. Got to figure out what I need for a new battery cable. And while I'm up here, go ahead and fix this wiring nightmare. I gotta tighten the ground from the motor to the firewall. Might possibly have a guy interested in buying a Dakota Digital dash out of this truck. If he does send me the money for it, then I'm gonna order my Speedway Motors gauge set for it. And then I can button that stuff up. So right now, I know it's up and running again. Perfect. I don't like this block up here, this one here, but I'll move that when I tidy all these wires up. And honestly, there's only one thing being fed off of it, and that's the fuel injection relays. I might change that. Let's see, where's that wire go? It's down. Crossed. Yeah, I might change that because that should just be a constant power. Comes over into this loom and disappears. I'll look into that. If that's all it is, if it just needs constant power, then I'll do away with this block, and when I loom this up, run it straight to here, because that's basically the same thing. That'll clean that up. I do have plans for this. I'm not putting the intake and valve covers and all that stuff on it right now. I want to get it back on the road. But this is butt ugly right here. So, I've got plans. I got plans. I got my, can you see it? I got my wires. Remember, they did hang out here and went through this hole. I brought them up and through the firewall there. They come through right there. They're fed across the top side, like I was saying earlier. I gotta pull them up yet, put the clips in there. The computer's mounted right there. The wipers, all this wiring goes across the back side of the column bracket, drops down and goes where they need to go. This right here is the heater and evap. Don't need it. I'm gonna delete it. This is the glove box, and here's the switch. Let's see, all of that is good. Hey, I'm gonna put my hat back on now that I'm not underneath bumping my head again. Now, as far as inside, this is my tack wire. This wire, I believe, used to go to the radio. Don't know why, what's going on there, but this is my cruise control. I did get it pulled down through. I had to pull this plug off there so it'd fit through the hole. I might have to extend those wires because I want them to come over and go through right in here, because that's directly behind where it's going to hook to the engine. Up here, I need to sort through, separate these wires for the headlight switch, dome light switch, and then get them hooked in to the factory switch. It's coming along, but I hate wiring. I shortened a lot of wires up that didn't need to be here. They come in over here, all the way over here, loop back around, come in, twined around some other wires, back out. They didn't go to nothing. Snip, snip. Snip, snip, snip. I mean, I got pieces of wire everywhere. I ran over to Rob's. He's getting ready to scrap out a Tahoe, so I grabbed the battery, or the computer holder out of it. There's another bundle of wires that I didn't need. Here's some more wires I didn't need. Yeah. Clean it up. Uh-oh, there's oil on the floor. What did I do? Did I pull an oil line off? I don't know. This thing's never leaked a drop. What the heck? It's behind the motor. Great. I gotta get my creeper. It's transmission fluid. Great. It did leak like that once before. No big deal. I got to take it to Joe so he can tune it. He needs to tune that transmission anyways. He said just bring it out and he'll look at it. So I'll have him look at that transmission leak while he's there. I don't want no issues when I take this thing on a trip. It's getting ready to put about 1,000 miles on this thing here in September, and I want to have a couple thousand on it before September. All right, now I got a truck to look at. Can't believe it, drilled through my inner fenders to put this ugly thing on here. Okay. I'm gonna have to move that fan, I know. So if I bring that over like that, if I move that fan, it's still an inch away from the radiator, and I can still cut this down a little bit to get that back farther. Right there, it's right at an inch away. I'm just trying to get an idea of what to look for. Put this breather over here. Yeah, with that fan, if I move that fan straight down a little bit, there'll be enough clearance. So, I can put this you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and put the clamp on that and hold it in place. This ain't gonna stay here, but I gotta have something to get it. I've gotta have something to go by. Dang it. This screwdriver sucks. I know that was on there. All right, so now I got that on there. It's holding this time. Now I'm wondering, I'm debating on moving my horns and then put a hole in that panel to set that in there. That way it's bringing fresh air from in front. Like that. So if I do that, I need 18 inches and a 90, or just put it like this and let it go. And that would be 16 inch. I don't know, I'll have to look online, see what I can find. But I do need to do something with the battery. You know what? I know why he's got that run up, over, back, and around. I'll bet there's a lug in here he's got bolted together, because on the Silverado, no, it's on that side. I don't know. That's gonna be a nightmare doing that, because that's pretty darn tight down in there. I don't know what all wires are in that loom. But I do want to clean that up. There's no reason for 40 foot of battery cable. And then I want to put better terminals, you know, that kind of thing. I got to plug some holes. I got to plug that hole, that hole. That hole and that hole. I got to put another hole in here somewhere for the cruise control. Oh yeah, that'll work. Put that in there. Come on now. I might have to change that little bracket, but that'll go right there to the cruise. And then I can mount this over here somewhere. So it plugs in where? Where does it plug in? Oh, right there. So if I mount that there, I could bring that harness out. Maybe I'll put it down here, bring it out, and just come straight over and plug in. And then when I do the air conditioning, the hose will go over here. All right, I'm gonna close this one out because like I said, I'm gonna have several videos and I don't want them all that long for you guys. Every time I work on it, I'm gonna post. Even if it's a 10-minute video, I'm gonna post it. If it's 4 hours, I'm gonna post it. You never know. Hopefully that guy gets back with me on those gauges. See, I got my relays mounted back in here. Gauges right here, so yeah. That'll work. This is my tack wire. And then all these turn signals. That one's speedometer, but I ain't gonna need that. Left turn, brake light. Fuel. And then down here we got the water temp, oil. See, here's those wires I gotta bring out to the cruise control. I might have to splice and dice on those to make them long enough, because that's all the longer they are. On the Silverado, it was mounted on the firewall over here. I need it to go over and out and plug in. It's getting there. I'm gonna make a cover that'll come on this all the way across, just to kind of hide this stuff after I get it all wired, of course. Here's a light. I got another one up there, and then I got ashtray light right there, which, yeah, don't need no ashtray light. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna put Ornery in the bed and shut everything down. Till the next one, have a blessed evening.